Hello, Team 7 Blue Regions classes. So, as I mentioned to you a little while ago, I will not be with you for at least a couple of days here. I have a couple of workshops and meetings and field trips and things going on. So, you guys are going to be working on your own as we jump into our very last project of the entire school year. So if you look on Google Classroom in a little bit, don't do it now. Just follow these simple instructions. Let me explain it to you first. When you log on to Google Classroom, you will see that there is a new topic here. It says historical fiction narrative. So historical, obviously it's going to have to do with history. Fiction, which means it's going to be something made up, and narrative. So it's going to be a story. So this is going to be a project where I'm going to allow you to work with a partner and you are going to be collaborating together to write a fictional or made up story about a fictional or made up character that's going to experience something historical. For example, you might make up the name of a slave who experiences the Underground Railroad, or you might make up a soldier who is going to fight in one of the wars or battles that you learned about this year. So when you see this on Google Classroom, yours will be shaded pink and won't look gray like mine is now because I haven't quite released this assignment to you at this moment. But by the time that you see this, it'll be live. So, anyway, you'll click on the assignment, and it says here as you begin thinking deeply about your story, you will need to conduct research. So, let me back up one moment. Before you get to the research, I think what we need to do is we need to choose partners and we need to choose topics. So, let me hold off on the research piece. What I'm going to ask that you do now is with the subs assistance, first we need to identify who is not present in the classroom right now. So if someone is absent or someone left to go to the nurse's office or lessons or whatnot, we need to designate we need to designate desks in the classroom to represent each of those people. So maybe if the sub can grab a little post-it note and just put a post-it note down in the desk and say, this is John, and put it down at an empty desk and say, this post-it note's going to represent, whoever, Kate. And this post-it note is going to represent, Russell, and just put those post-it notes around. What you're going to do is I'm going to give you 1 minute right now. You are going to get up with all of your belongings and you are going to sit down next to someone who you want to work with pretty much every day here on out, unless we're doing a Socratic Smackdown. If we're not doing a Socratic Smackdown, or I should say, if we're not doing a book club too, we will be working on this historical fiction narrative. So we've got 3 things going on right now. We've got, if you look through Google Classroom, we're still doing Socratic Smackdowns and we're still doing book clubs. But as we are wrapping up the school year, we're starting this new project, and you are going to get up and you are going to sit down next to one person who you are going to work with. So I'm going to ask that you pause the video and that you get up with all of your belongings right now and that you are going to sit down next to somebody. Okay. And again, each of those post-it notes with names on them will represent students who are not presently in the room. So if you want to work with John or Kate or Russell, you would just sit down at the desk next to the desk with the post-it note and their name on it. So pause this video now, choose your partner, and then come back to me. Okay, so I'm hoping that we didn't have any issues choosing partners. We're ready to take the next step. The next step is choosing a topic. So for this, I'm going to show you where to look. There's a PDF file right here, and you probably can't see it too well from my screen. You're going to get a better look at it from your computer in just a few minutes. This is an overview of everything that you have learned in social studies this year. In fact, it goes in chronological order. And so you're going to choose that major event that is going to be kind of the setting of your story. So I don't want you to choose a name. I don't want you to choose, oh, my main character is going to be Paul Revere. No, you can't have your main character be Paul Revere. Now, you can make up a character that maybe experienced the Boston Massacre or Boston Tea Party. So that might be your historical event. And maybe your fictional main character meets up with Paul Revere. Maybe it's somebody who works for him or somebody who crossed paths with him at some point. That might be kind of a cool story. So as we move forward, I'll get to the next part, the research part next. You're not going to be focusing on a person right now. Again, you are choosing a historical event from the 7th grade curriculum. And I would like it to be on this list. Okay? So it could be, California Gold Rush, the Battle of Yorktown, the Underground Railroad, the Boston Tea Party, the conquest of the Aztecs. You get the idea. So again, when you sit with your partner, that's going to be the first decision that you have to agree upon. Okay? Once you agree upon a topic, then you're ready to move on to the next step. Now let's read the description of this assignment. As you begin thinking deeply about your story, you will need to conduct research. You may search the internet. Let me enlarge this. You may search the internet for details that will help your story remain true to the time period in which it took place. You may want to research dates, details of battles, cities or towns, living conditions, clothing, food, etc. So at this point, you should start thinking about, okay, I'm going to do a story about a slave who escaped the Underground Railroad. They're going to come in contact with Harriet Tubman. I need to do some research about what was life like for the slaves. Maybe what were they wearing? What did they eat? Where did they sleep? Those types of things. So this is the document that one partner is going to open up. One partner is going to open up. They are going to share it. You know how to click on the blue share button and share it with your partner. You are also going to go up over here to the top and change the title so that it not only has your name in the title, but please rename it so it includes your partner's name as well. Okay? Once you do that, then you're going to get to work for today. And it's asking you here on this document, trying to enlarge it again for you. It's asking you to look up and do some research using our research skills. Look up information related to your topic, all those good details that you think that you're going to need to explain or describe those living conditions or the clothing or a battle or whatever it is about your fictional or made up character. You're going to copy directly from that website some of the facts and information that you're getting. So you might end up with, in this box, you might end up with a couple of paragraphs of information. And then all I'm asking you to do is just copy the URL. Let me do one as an example. So if I were going to do, let's see, life of a slave. Oops, can't type here. Life of a slave during the Underground Railroad. Let's see if we can pull something up real quick. Okay, history.com is certainly a credible site. So I will use this as my example. I will try to keep this brief. Okay, so let's pretend that I've read this whole website here, and let's see, the part here that I am most interested in possibly using in my story will be, let's see, will be right here. So I will copy this and I will go to my, where's my document? Oh, here it is. So first I'm going to paste my research here. Okay. I don't really care right now because this is kind of like, it's just a graphic organizer. It doesn't have to look perfect. I'm not going to worry about things like, background colors or fonts or things like that. But I'm just going to simply copy and paste. I can go back here to my source and I can copy and paste another paragraph or two. But for the sake of making this a brief example, I'm not going to do that. I am, however, going to need to copy my URL. So let me do that and bring it over and put it right here. Remember, the URL is the same thing as the website, and you need to copy and paste the entire thing. I can't just do up to history.com. I have to include the entire thing. Okay? So, your goal for today, just to recap, according to Google Classroom, is to decide on a historical topic. Then you are going to go to this document here. You are going to begin doing some research. Maybe you're looking at one website while your partner's looking at another website. You should be starting to talk about the story and what you think it's going to be about. And you're just gathering information right now. I'm not going to hold you to it. If you end up only using half of the research that you found, that's okay. Your goal is to get about half of this done. So if you need to have 10 sources, try to get at least 5 done this period, or at least 4, try. And then we're going to take a break from this for a few days, but we are going to come back to it on Monday. Okay, so we'll work on it today. We'll take a break. We'll work on it again on Monday. And then you can see that this is due on Monday, which is May 23rd at night. So if you have any questions about this, please email me. Otherwise, I want you to have some fun with this project. Please make sure that your story, as you begin thinking about it, it is realistic. It was possible. You're not going to get too silly and put, a stampede of rhinoceroses, trampled the slaves in the Underground Railroad. Like, that didn't happen. So let's not get silly about it. It should sound realistic. Okay, so have some fun with this. Email me with any questions. Behave for the sub. Thank you.